All right, looks like it's working now. I am once again live. Yeah, I was too lazy to pre-record this message, so I'm live. So, but I mean, definitely anybody who sees me live, I can respond to messages right away. That's the thing about live streaming with everybody. I can read the chat and I can respond right away in the audio too. But so far, I've never really seen anybody come on to watch me live, so that hasn't been happening. All right, so today the message was, or this week, the message was called "Talking to Jesus: Prayers Never Die." You know how we could always talk to Jesus. I'm just gonna jump right into it. Well, I was gonna do announcements first since I didn't have the phone booted up earlier, but my phone is booted up. So yeah, definitely for anybody who was just at the Fortnite premiere, definitely Fortnite has definitely been bringing more people into the channel, and that's it's not necessarily a bad thing. Seems like Fortnite brings more people to the channel than hockey. I guess people are really just not that into watching amateur hockey. And I've been actually getting a little bit more pro at Fortnite than I am at hockey recently because mom is still afraid of the coronavirus, so I haven't been really out on the ice much. I haven't been back on the ice yet, that is. Sorry, there's a window that just popped up. I also been keeping up with the learning the vocabulary of Hebrew and Spanish, so definitely been going to the Spanish server sometimes. Almost every week though. Definitely plan to go back again this Sunday. I was out for a walk on that when I was for this week, so I sometimes I had to use my phone, and you cannot use YouTube on picture-in-picture unless you buy the premium version, which I didn't buy, so that's another thing. I wonder if they let you stream live on YouTube if you buy the premium version on your phone, because normally I don't have enough viewers or subscribers or whatever you need to go live. But maybe if I pay for the software, they'll give me that feature. If they don't, that's kind of garbage. So whatever. But anyways, I don't plan to pay for the software anyways. Okay, so Luke, I think it's not even just a one-time thing. I mean, if it was a one-time thing, if $15, I might do it. But as far as I know, it's $15 a month or something like that. It's like a monthly subscription to use YouTube Premium, so it's pretty expensive. I think, as far as I remember, it's even more expensive than my Apple TV, so it's which I don't have to pay for yet because I'm still on the free trial right now. Friend, lend me 3 loaves, for a friend of mine has arrived on a journey, and I have nothing to set before him. And he will answer from within, do not bother me, the door is now shut, and now my children are with me in bed. I cannot get up and give you anything. I tell you though, even though he will not get up and give him anything, because he is his friend, yet because of his imprudence, he would get up and rise and give him whatever he needs. And I tell you, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you. For anyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds. And to the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Another references 1 John 5 and 1 Chronicles and other stuff in there. Hebrews again. Hebrews was actually used quite a bit during this series, and this is actually the last week of the series, according to Rich. So we're not doing prayer anymore next week. I may not be on next week especially I might be at school, so I can't go live on mobile. Maybe I can access YouTube from the school computer. Actually, I think the school computer actually kind of bans YouTube, so it's probably won't happen. But I could, if I really do have time, maybe do a pre-record and premiere again. But I may or may not be watching. Well, I think I could watch my phone, so maybe I'll be watching, especially this Wi-Fi. But I might be at the library, so I'm kind of busy next week. Again, as I said, I will probably be doing these. If I'm not going to do it every week, I'll probably just try to come on and do these on the weeks that we don't have crew, so that way I still discuss the questions with myself through these videos. So I still think about the questions even when I don't have to do them for crew. So like this is the week where we don't have crew, and then 2 weeks again we don't have crew again. So that's kind of how maybe that's how the new schedule goes. And the other reason why I'm doing that is because I want to just also allocate time, in my schedule to actually go to crew, so especially now that I'm barred from playing hockey. So it's like doing crew just gives me some social and something to do other than school. So even though I do have like video conferences for school, it's not necessarily the same as video conference for crew. So anyway, main idea. Walking into a bustling restaurant is always an exciting experience. You take in all the cool lighting and decor, and you can smell the delicious food being prepared. You're having a great time laughing and chatting with friends. And now it's your turn to place your order. You express to the waiter that you would like to eat, and anticipation begins. 10 minutes go by, then 20. And the next thing you know, you're an hour into the waiting, questioning why you even came to dinner in the first place. Maybe this type of scenario resembles your prayer life. Maybe right now you're in the season of waiting and prayer. As Jesus explains in Luke 11, sometimes prayers are answered simply on account of your persistence. In seasons of anticipation, our faith is tested and strengthened through persistence. We can look back and see that God always answers our prayers, but not always how we envision. His response may be yes, no, or not right now. Many of the saints in the Bible left Earth without seeing their prayers answered on their timing, yet their faith never wavered. In the end, what pleases God most is our trust in Him, knowing that because of who He is, our prayers never die. The purpose of prayer is not to get man's will done in heaven, but to get God's will done on earth. So, not our will, but God's will. And they talk about the push later, which I'll mention it. But in the notes here, they talk about the push. You might have heard about that push if you've been with Christianity for a little while, but the pray until something happens. You gotta keep praying until something happens. Like God, to wait for God to move. And another thing about the prayer and something like this whole theme verse from Luke is actually talking about it's not because that guy's his friend that asks his prayer, but because he just doesn't give up. So basically, the one of the themes is that if you keep praying, God will eventually move. Of course, I'm not saying that everything will be answered. Like obviously, if you're praying for something that's help me to rob a bank or something, God, I mean that may still happen, but I don't necessarily know if God will be behind it. But there's obviously some things that are outside of God's plan that He may not answer. But for the most part, the whole point of this message is that we shouldn't give up praying, and prayer doesn't go in vain. Just have to, sometimes you gotta pray until something happens. Sometimes you just gotta wait for it. As Barney Stinson says in How I Met Your Mother, you gotta wait for it. All right. So number one, preparation. When speaking with God, we sometimes feel upset when the answers to our prayers is no or not right now. Rather than losing faith, we can believe that God is preparing us to receive the blessing. Although our prayers may not be answered in the time we want or in the way we would like, it is important to keep faith that God is preparing us to fulfill the purpose which He has for us. 1 Chronicles 29:16. Our Lord our God, all this abundance that we have prepared to build you a house for your holy name is from your hand, and it is all your own. Faith without works is dead. It's easy to say you are ready to receive a blessing, but without proper preparation, you are not fully ready. Push, again, pray. It means pray until, it stands for pray until, you, S something, and happens is for the H. So push, pray until something happens. We can, we do what we can do, and let God take care of what we can't do. The mountaintop is not more important than the valley. So getting there is not more important than trying to get, from where you started. So the question, I don't really know what I'm going to answer, but this is the question. What daily habits are you focusing on today to prepare you for tomorrow? I guess it's like progression. I guess as they like to say in Transformation Church, it's like progression, not perfection. I think like just daily, just kind of working towards your goals. Because sometimes for me, like for example, that chest protector I'm working on, even though summer is over, I still haven't finished it. So I should have put more time to do that once my exam was done, but I did. I've been lazy. But the thing is, like as you continue to do stuff, you continue to make progress towards something. It prepares you for tomorrow, because it's not like you're starting from scratch. Like the next day, if you had done some progress on that previous task, now you're getting closer and closer to finish. So it just keeps on getting you closer and closer to finish until you actually finish, right? So that's like, it's like progression. You continue to inch your way towards finishing what it is you're trying to finish. You may not be able to finish it right away, but you keep on progressing on it, and eventually you will get to the end. So that's kind of what I say, like progression. Especially with things that don't have a deadline, right? So it's always like you don't want to just put it off forever, and it was like, oh, especially like when my chest protector is, it's like oh, now I can use it, but I don't actually use it. You know what I'm saying? So like especially like I was planning to use it for the tournament that we normally have, but that may not happen because her mom is paranoid with the COVID. But anyways, that's kind of how that goes. But actually, the thing is, I think that might be a schedule conflict. I think because normally I think they tend to have it on the Wednesday, or was it Tuesday last year? I don't remember. But anyway, I'm not available on Wednesdays right now, so that wouldn't work either. And I wouldn't quit my normal league game just to show up to the tournament, the student tournament. But anyways, so yeah, just like I said, just making progression towards what you're doing, and that eventually going to get you to where you need to go, right? So if you keep on making progress, eventually one day you'll be finished. But if you just leave it and you don't make progress towards it, like you procrastinate basically, you'll never get to where you're trying to go. All right, so number 2 is patience. An abundant harvest requires great patience. It takes time for a seed to blossom into a beautiful flower. For the process of transformation to occur, a seed must grow in darkness and solitude. In our valley, we may experience suffering, but in that time, God develops our character, integrity, and builds a firm foundation of faith. How we act in these moments is more important than what we're praying for. When we practice patience, the depth of our gratitude is greater. Like a seed properly planted, pruned, and nourished, God will allow you to blossom to his glory. What God does in us while we wait is as important as what we're waiting for. John Orderberg. All right, so the points here is God entrusts his promises to those who are patient and faithful. Practice joy and gratitude while you wait. Practice can carry us through challenging seasons. Time does not disqualify the promise. Time does not disqualify the promise. It validates it. How would you wait for God to answer your prayer? I guess there's not really much. Again, these questions don't really See, so this is another good thing about doing these, even on weeks that we do have crew, because sometimes it helps me to think about the question ahead of time. Because especially you just throw it out there for me right now, like I can't really come up with an answer right away. But when I think about it a little bit, I guess how would you wait for God to answer your prayer? It's just like kind of just try to remember that what God has already done and know that He will do things, and and just wait patiently. I think like important thing is like not to like be like, oh God, how come you haven't done it yet? It's like but kind of just knowing that He will do it and just continue waiting for it is kind of the way to go. um, so that's kind of what I was gonna say about that. Just like wait patiently and try not to complain or grumble, but continue to wait for it and know that God will do something in your life. So because God is good, so He will. Sometimes it kind of seems like God is not showing up, or God is not there, but He is. But it's just sometimes like you're saying, you just gotta wait for things to happen. You gotta pray until you gotta keep praying until something happens. Basically, that's a short answer. I don't really have a lot to say about that, and this video may actually be less than 30 minutes this time around. But I'll do some announcements at the end. It's we're actually I'm already at the summary. There's only 2 questions usually. Although, like, if we are going to participate in crew, they do have additional questions that the crew can tackle as well. But we don't get to see those in the public notes. So anyway, summary. It's not about the promise, it's about the promise giver. The process of praying and waiting for the answer allows us to grow in godly character. Oh, sorry, I forgot to turn off airplane mode. We do not always see the fruition of our prayers. Our prayers may be the foundation of the next generation's purpose or generations to come. Our prayers have ageless impact, and God will always fulfill His promise, just not on our time scale. As we seek to know God in prayer, He will change our hearts and our prayers will line up with His will. God may be using our prayers today to cry out for the revival of future generations. Okay, so call to action. When you are in personal prayer time, dare to pray the impossible. Be committed to praying for the future church and generations. Seek the heart of God and ask that you learn to wait well. Take time this week to write down an impossible prayer. And how this prayer could impact future generations. Be ready to share. So yeah, if you can find something that you don't think that God can answer, write down and see whether God can do it. And usually God, there's nothing impossible with God, as they say. Nothing is impossible with God. So definitely put that in somewhere and like see, just wait to see what God will do. I mean, I don't think necessarily God will always answer every prayer the way you expect, but I don't think God is silent and idle. I think He does answer prayers. So give it a shot and see what happens. So I guess that's it for today. But a few announcements. I've been working on. I've been washing. Sorry, I gotta go back to. I should glue it as soon as possible, but I gotta use the washroom first. I've been cleaning the chesty and some of the Velcro that has an adhesive kind of start coming off. So I gotta glue it on now. I cleaned the chesty. So yeah, I was modifying it more, putting on an extra like a chest plate. They call it chesty for short. It's the chest protector, but the slang that people use is usually called chesty. That's what they call it for short. They call it chesty. So I think the other piece of Velcro is like behind the washer mirror, or some of it's right there where on the floor somewhere. I gotta get it, and yeah. So I've been cleaning that, and it's finally been cleaned. It wasn't that bad before I cleaned it. So I think because like when you go like professional cleaning, they put some deodorizing stuff in it, so that kind of helps to keep the smell away. So I didn't really, I don't remember how many skates I put in on that one before I cleaned it again in the bucket. So, but I was surprised 'cause it didn't smell that bad. But when I put it in like for like, I don't know, is it maybe 40 hours or so? And every time I take it out, the water is still dirty. So definitely it did need cleaning, even though it didn't smell that bad. But so it did need quite a bit of cleaning. But the cleaning hopefully did get rid of most of the bacteria. So that kind of helps. But I was surprised because I was expecting, it doesn't look like it smells so bad. And obviously with a black one, I don't know if some of the black actually loses color when you're submerging it. Maybe that's what's making the water change color. But I don't, but like compared to my white one, where like the white one you can see there's stains everywhere, right? So obviously I'm not surprised that that white one changed the color of my water. And thankfully some of the stains did come out, so that's good. I mean, not 100%, but pretty thoroughly. Like most of the stains did come out so on the white one, so it does work fairly well. The cleaners and the soapy water as well, regular soapy water, and then I go for the cleaner as well. So both. I go through a few cycles of dumping it in the water. And obviously, the only problem is like I didn't put it on the dryer, so it kind of dries slowly. So that kind of like, but I did spray deodorizing on it afterwards. So that kind of helped. Right now, it doesn't really smell at all, so it's good. But definitely, of course, it will get dirty again. And I don't really know how much it helps, but obviously with COVID, maybe cleaning more often is good. Even if I don't get to go out to the professional cleaner, because I'm not heading out to that area right now. It's just cleaning it is keep it clean, right? So pretty much everything's fairly clean right now. And I don't know, I just kind of feel that maybe some of the smell will actually die out when you're not using it, right, as well, because it just stays dry, and it gets aired out. But I don't really, maybe like what it does is it doesn't actually. Well, obviously, the dirt that's there probably stays there. It doesn't just disappear on its own. But the bacteria maybe dies out because it doesn't get fed. So maybe that's why it doesn't smell, because the bacteria doesn't get fed. But the dirt is still there. So that's why, when I put it in, the water still turned dirty. Anyways, maybe I can do it right now before I go to the washroom. So I'm going to sign off for now. And thanks for watching. And maybe see you next week if I make a video. If not, I'll see you 2 weeks from now. And I still haven't got around to doing the video about how to memorize vocabularies, or tricks and tips for memorizing vocabulary for language, for anybody who did decide to take up the torch and decide to learn Hebrew alongside with me, but from my Hebrew lesson videos as well. But if not, it's like I said, it's good advice for learning any language. It doesn't have to be Hebrew. So it's something that you may want to check out. It's because it's a video that's going to be for any language, not just Hebrew. So that's it for announcements, I guess. And this is the end of the video. A little short, but there you go.